Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another first look video. Today we're going to be checking out Deep Sky Derelicts, which released a week ago today on Steam. And I would describe this game as sort of like Darkest Dungeons meets sort of like a card-based combat system with a little bit of like traditional dungeon crawling mixed in. I have played about 30 or so minutes just to familiarize myself with the game, and I actually really enjoyed what I played. I found myself kind of, having a hard time putting the game down and moving on to other things I had to do. My only complaint thus far is that for the current price tag, which I think is like $15 on Steam, the game seems a little bit shallow, and it could get somewhat repetitive. However, that said, I am really enjoying it, and so because I've played a little bit of this already, this is going to be less of a first impressions video and more of like a tentative review, I guess. I'll kind of take you guys through the various mechanics and whatnot and kind of let you know how I feel about them as we go along. So let's go ahead and jump into a new campaign. We'll start a new one rather than continuing off from my other one. So we are immediately thrust into the character creation system here. And so you're only ever going to be in control of 3 characters, but there's a variety of classes and stuff for you to play around with. So I haven't had a character die yet. I don't know if that ends your campaign or if you just replace them with a new character at a lower level or something. But, barring that, I imagine most of the replayability in this game is going to come from trying out different class combinations. So we have the Tracker, who's got really good weapon skills, a little bit of tech and medical, and not so great at scavenging or mental abilities. Then we have the Bruiser, who's a little bit better at, or excuse me, not better, a little bit worse at combat. But rather than having tech and medical skills, they have scavenging and mental skills. And then we have the Technician, who's all about tech skills, a little bit of scavenging, a little bit of medical. The Medic, who is skilled in tech, medical as you might expect, and a little bit of mental. The Leader, a little bit of weapon skill and a lot of mental skill, but not a whole lot else. And then the Scrapper, who is okay with weapons, okay with tech, really good at scavenging. And then we're back to the Tracker. So those are all the different classes you have to choose from. Obviously, given that you have 5 skills here and only 3 characters, you kind of have to pick and choose which skills you want to focus the most heavily on. And you want to make sure that those secondary skills, the ones that aren't the minimum of 5 but aren't the maximum skill for that person, sort of complement one another. So if you have somebody's really good at weaponry, somebody's really good at medical, and somebody's really good at mental, you want to make sure that their secondary skills are kind of overlapping on those tech and scavenging, or whatever you decide to choose. So let's see. For our first character, I think a medic's going to be important. So let's grab a medic. We have a couple different portraits to choose from here. Let's see. Let's go through them all. Okay, we went through them all. I like this guy here. He looks pretty rough. He looks like he's seen some shit. Then let's see, a Tracker. That would be nice for the weapon skill, but I'm gonna grab a Bruiser because they're a little bit bigger. I'll put him here because he'll end up at the top of the screen rather than the bottom, and he won't block the other guys so much. So he's gonna be my main combatant, and let's see. What kind of portrait do we want to give this guy? You know what? He's got blue. This armor's blue. Works for me. And then we need, I guess, a little bit of scavenging or maybe tech. I wouldn't mind some more weapon skill though. Let's see. Leader. You know what? The Scrapper's got a little bit of everything we don't currently have. So I think that'll work out nicely. It's got some weapon skill to complement the Bruiser. A little bit of tech skill, which the Medic also has. Some of, not a ton of. And then scavenging, which these guys don't really have. So We're losing some on mental here, but I think we'll be alright. And then for this portrait, let's see, I'll go with her. And I'm just going to leave all the names as is for now. You can randomize. Oh, should not have done that. Alright, I thought it was just going to randomize the name, but apparently randomizes the whole thing. So, let's see. The Motley Melons. Sure, we'll go with that, and I'm going to reset up my crew to match what I had before I hit that, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we got the Motley Melons all set up here. Let's go ahead and start. We'll start a new save here. I'm not going to overwrite my old one. And we have some, like, some exposition, not expedition here. I'm just going to skip through this because it's not important. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, essentially what we're going to be doing here is, you know, flying to Derelicts, clearing them out, grabbing scrap, and doing missions and whatnot, and trying to clear them out while not getting killed. So this is like the main hub screen, essentially. This is where you're going to be doing all of your buying and selling and healing and whatnot. So you have the doctor here. She'll patch up your characters. I guess it's worth mentioning now. So your characters have, you know, I'll save it for when we get into combat because it'll be easier to explain then. Station Hall is where we just left. You can talk to this guy. Not going to bother right now. But I think you have to get quests from him at some point. Most quests you can kind of pick up organically. And then the pawn shop is where you're going to do all your buying and selling. Let's see, what do we have in here? Because you do want to take a peek at this stuff before you jump into actual like gameplay, because you might be able to get a nice little head start for yourself. Wailing Numbing Wrecker. Let's see. This one does more damage. I don't want to get too much into the items right now. So one thing I will say is before you head out, it's worth buying a couple of energy cells, and I'll explain more on that later, but for now I'll buy one small and one medium. What does this do? Range weapon mod. Okay, I'm actually going to buy that because that would be pretty useful. I'm not going to bother with any of these yet. I think for now we'll just go with that. I'm not going to spend too much money before we go in. But yeah, that's the pawn shop again. Buy, sell. That's where you're going to do it all. And then we have the hub here, which is where you can grab contracts. I'm just going to take all of them because I don't think they have any time limits. So you may as well just pick them all up in case you stumble across them. They'll tell you where to find them though. So I think one that we picked up is on a certain derelict. Another one was on a different derelict. And then this one is just bringing back robot parts. So it doesn't matter where we get them. So I'll grab all those. And then this doesn't actually do anything. So what we want to do now, by the way, at any point you can open your PDA, and that's where you're going to access all your crew and inventory stuff. So the medic here has a shotty as his primary range weapon, and he's got two medical tools, one of which is giving us reflex booster and the other is giving us pacify. And this shows all the cards that he has in his like deck, essentially, when you go into combat. So I think at any given point you have like 4 or 5 cards in your hand. So when his turn comes up, he draws like 5 of these. And so you might get attack abilities, you might get, you know, buff things. I'll explain more when we get into actual combat, but this is the deck for this character, essentially. And so everybody has a shield core as well. So Columbus is our scrapper. She has a assault weapon, which has like burst fire. She's also got a power glove. And let's see, a scavenging tool. This basically lets her draw extra cards and then pick one and, you know, toss the rest out. So if you have terrible luck at drawing cards, this might be a great tool or a good character or class to bring along, because she can make your card drawing a little bit better. And there's better scavenging tools that you can equip, as well as scavenging mods that can supplement that. And then she's got a shield core as well. And then finally we have Gas, the Bruiser. he only gets 3 slots. He's got a heavy melee weapon, which is a two-handed weapon. And then he's got a battle visor, which is a weapon tool, and then a shield core as well. And then, again, those are his cards. This is the level up tree. So I think every level up you get, in my experience, it's been 2 points, but I haven't gotten that far into the game, so that might not be the case always. I just know when they went from level 1 to level 2, I had 2 points. So you can basically like put one here and then put one there, and I'm pretty sure each ability has 3 tiers, just like this does. So if you really like a particular ability, you can level it up 3 times, or you can just kind of get all of the abilities at level 1 and then focus on leveling them up. But you can specialize your classes further, which is a nice addition. And then your inventory here. This is my like overall inventory. This is just a generic weapon mod, so I can put this on any ranged weapon, I believe. Let's see. That's a melee weapon, so I'm gonna give it to Columbus. She's basically gonna have like a little grenade launcher on the end of her gun, but because this is just a regular ranged weapon mod, I can put it on the shotgun as well. Some mods will only work on certain types of ranged weapons or certain types of, you know, melee weapons, so you can get a power glove specific mod or a assault ranged weapon specific mod or a shotgun specific mod, as well as the more generic ones that'll fit on anything. And so you can see that this adds concussive grenade and explosive grenade, EMP grenade cards to her deck down here. So with all that taken care of, let's actually get into some actual gameplay. So we're going to click on the ship here, and we get free travel for as long as I've played so far. I don't know if that ever goes away. But let's go to Lucium here. I believe one of our contracts we picked up had something to do with that. So let's fly on over here. We'll go ahead and launch the mission and get right into it. Load times in this game are not too bad at all. You can see that was pretty quick. And this is basically what you're going to be looking at most of the time when you're in like combat or engaged in other stuff. The other screen you're going to be seeing quite a bit of is this one. So this is essentially the dungeon map. And there is a legend that you can click on that'll show you, what everything is that you need to know. So unknown squares are red, explored squares are white, and scanned but not explored squares are blue. And then in those squares you can have certain, I guess, grid contents. So wherever you are is going to be this circle there. If there is an encounter, you're going to have a triangle. If there is loot, you will get a bar. I believe the number of bars represents the type of loot. So like if it's going to be like really, really good loot, it'll be 3 bars. More often than not, you're only going to see a single bar though. This of course is the exit. Energy sources are places you can pick up energy. And I guess other circles are, I guess, encounters where you don't need to worry about them potentially being dangerous. But the biggest thing that you need to worry about is this number right here. This is your energy, and managing your energy is probably the biggest thing in this game, because every place you move, you can see that's going to cost me 1 energy point to move there. And so as you start exploring, you're going to be using up energy, and you need to make sure that you can get yourself back to your ship with enough energy to actually make it there and return back to base and buy more energy. Or if you did what I recommended earlier, you have a couple of energy cells just in case you want to stick around a little bit longer, or you didn't plan things well and you end up a couple energy points short of making it to the exit. So let's just start by heading to this encounter here. We'll see what it is. Let's see. We got a scientist. Fresh faces. Are you here about the Mawworm eggs? So this might be the quest or the contract that we picked up. So are you with the Science Institute? Let's see. Yes, I'm Keenan Plock, a biologist. I was sent here to observe. Oh, you're talking pretty fast. Okay, so he's observing worms or whatever. We'll ask him about the contract. Let's see what he says. Worm's nest is somewhere in this area. I'll mark it on your scanner. Okay, cool. Goodbye. So we just have to kill worms, I think, and bring stuff back to him. So let's open our PDA again, and apparently those are the worms that we're looking for, so we need to make our way over there. Let's head... I'm actually curious about this area, so let's move here. And then I'm going to pop a scan that costs me 5 energy to illuminate this area a bit. So we can see that this is going to continue on a ways. And the derelict is as big as these like lines go, so you can have the grid expand all the way up to here and here. And, you know, you get the idea. So, let's actually push toward the edge here. We're basically going to explore to this wall, and then we'll start making our way this way, and then we'll basically just go along the boundaries to sort of better explore all this. We find a group of travelers. Okay, I didn't even see an encounter there. Who goes there? A scavenger, looking for treasures. Seen any? I don't think they'll be too hostile because they're travelers, not other scavengers. I don't know anything about any treasures. They're just travelers exploring the ruins. I'd like to get back to it. Also looking for the observatory. Know anything about it? Let's see. Can't help you. Just arrived and don't know anything about this place. Alright, well, thanks for the help anyway. Okay, so far no combat. We'll get into some soon though. Don't worry about that. It's kind of hard to avoid in this game. We'll go ahead and scan again, and let's see, we've got an encounter here and some loot there. Let's go to the encounter first. Alright, oh, vulture pirates. Okay, well, we're getting right into combat then. Let's go ahead and fight. Okay, so our first battle. I'll try to explain things as we go along. So, it's important to note that getting into combat is going to deplete your energy. So, you're going to want to avoid combat if you're like running out of energy and trying to make it back to the ship. But you do need to factor that in whenever you're, you know, trying to escape, I guess. So there's a couple numbers on screen here. The red one the red like half circle thing with the white number is your hit points, and the blue number in the shield there that goes around the red is your shield points. So any attack that makes contact with your character will deplete shield points first, unless it is like I forget if it's called like rending or penetrating or something, but there's certain types of attacks, and they can happen randomly, that will penetrate shields and do hit point damage. But more often than not, you're going to be getting hit in the shields until they're depleted, after which your HP will start to deplete. Of course, characters like the medic here can actually restore shields, so it's important to constantly kind of keep your shields buffed so that you're not taking hit point damage, because your shields will renew every combat. So if he takes like 21 shield damage and is only left with 3 but no HP damage, the next combat he's going to be as good as new. He'll have 24 shield damage. But if I take hit point damage on him, that's going to carry over from combat to combat, and I'll eventually need to get him healed at a doctor to fix that. So you want to be taking all the damage to your shields if you can help it. These are the cards that Phaser has drawn this turn. So I have 2 shield recharges, not going to help me because everybody's shields are full. Got an adrenaline booster and a reflex booster. So this is going to help with evasion. This is going to help with attacks and whatnot. I'm actually going to throw the adrenaline booster on our friend Gas down here. This should give him 2 attacks, I believe. So that should help, and you get like this little, you know, kind of comic book type cutscene thing. Oh, it actually boosted his initiative up too. Cool. So let's go with a stunning blow first. We'll try to take one of these guys out of the fight for a little bit. It's going to do 6 damage either way if it lands. So let's just start on this guy. So we got the full damage plus a stun there. You can miss, you can do partial damage, you can do critical damage. So yeah, it pretty much works exactly as you'd expect. I'm going to go ahead and bash him as well, and we're going to keep chipping away at these shields. I only got 7 there. But yeah, he did get 2 attacks, so that little ability did help. This guy's going to harden his shields. Let's see here. I'm going to have Columbus burst fire the stun guy. We're going to try to focus fire him down. Because of the way this game works, you do want to focus fire if you can help it, just because, you know, the fewer enemies attacking you, generally the better. So I'm gonna go with the provoking strike here. That means that this particular enemy is gonna focus on gas for how many turns is it? For 1 turn. So I can kind of direct their attacks toward him. You know, with that ability, you may want to give him a better shield or something, or focus your, you know, recharging shield efforts on him if he's going to be, you know, tanking and provoking like that. Phaser doesn't have a whole lot of attack abilities, does he? I'm going to do another adrenaline boost on him, because he is our main damage output, so the more attacks he gets, the better. It also boosts his initiative, which isn't very good. So let's see. Got 2 more self-recharges that aren't going to help me right now. I could draw an extra card, but let's just use this Dirty Punch. So 100% weapon damage and a 33% chance chance to miss for a single target. So if I land this hit on him, there's a 1 in 3 chance that his next attack will miss. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll get 4 points onto his shield there, and that's going to deplete his shield. So now we can start doing some HP damage. One of them is going to swing back and hit Gas there. Oh, both of them are. Okay. Gas's turn is up. We're going to do a provoking strike on him. That's going to hit for 8 damage straight to his hit points now. And he gets another turn. I'm going to go ahead and recharge his shields. And that should give me, what, 26? Yeah, perfect. Alright, Phaser. I don't know if that's going to help me right now. I could recharge some shields. I don't think it's really going to help me that much, though. So I'm going to do a Pacify on this guy. That's going to prevent him from attacking. He can still do other stuff. Oh, he's not biological. Interesting. I would think a pirate is human, or at least alien or something, but definitely alive. But apparently not. So in that case, I'll do a reflex booster on the big guy. Make him a little bit harder to hit, since they seem to like going after him. Oh, now they're going after Columbus. Let's see what this guy does. Temporary covers. Okay, so he's gonna build a little concrete block for him to hide behind. Ooh, concussive grenade. Let's try that out. So stagger 1 for adjacent 3, 50% chance to stun. I'm confused, but let's try it. So this is like an AoE attack. You can see the highlighted circle there is now like an oval. I'll put it on him, but it doesn't really matter. So it did 4 damage to his shields. I guess I should have fired at him. It would have done some HP damage there. I'm actually going to spend some energy here to boost so that I can draw a few more cards for Gas, because I want him always putting out damage if I can help it. And this is not really going to help. So let's boost, and I did get a single strike. It's not going to be enough to kill this guy unless I get a crit, but we'll try it anyways. We got the crit. Sweet. So he's down. And let's see, Phaser's turn. I'm going to go with a scatter shot here. This is going to be a little bit ineffective just because it's meant for hitting... basically, it's meant for doing like AoE damage to a couple targets. So to a single target, it's only going to do a little bit of damage. But I don't really have... Actually, you know what? I'll just do a shield recharge on her, because she did take a little bit of damage there. And then with her, we're going to do a burst fire on this guy. Start chipping away at those shields. Not going to do a whole lot, but every little bit counts. Oh, he's going to stun Gas. That's unfortunate. Alright, so his turn gets passed. Let's see. I'm gonna take the scatter shot now. We'll try to chip away at this guy some more. So we got 4 damage through. Let's see. He's gonna do a shield hardener to buff his shields back up by, looks like, a couple points. Well, go ahead and try that explosive grenade. It's gonna be a little bit less effective because again, it's an AoE attack, but still, we're putting some hurt on him, and that actually got through his shield too. That did a little bit of HP damage. Alright, Gas, since you can't attack, I'm going to detect vulnerability on him to make him take a little bit more damage next time we hit him. Phaser, go ahead and recharge. It's actually not going to be that much. So I'm going to do... Can I pacify you? Or I already tried pacifying you. No, I can't. I'll just boost Gas's reflexes then. Alright, so with her, let's do a concussive grenade. Maybe we can get a stun. I didn't do anything. Unfortunate. Let's see. He's going to land a heavy strike on Phaser. Finally, we get an attack with Gas. Let's see if we can get the stun as well. Cool. So 7 shield damage and a stun. I'll take it. We'll do a scatter shot again to just kind of keep chipping away. One thing I have noticed about the combat is sometimes the mouse can be a bit finicky. It's a little bit annoying. You have to, like, I don't know. Sometimes it just, like, doesn't want to select the character you want to select, especially when you have, like, a four enemy battle happening. You can have, like, up to, I think, 4 enemies at a time. And it can be very difficult to click the ones, especially back here. But just a small complaint there. And let's see, another single strike, we'll take that. Go ahead and throw it on in. These guys are actually pretty tough. Most of the enemies I've encountered in my other playthrough were fairly weak and the battles didn't take nearly this long. These guys actually had really, really good shields. Whereas a lot of the enemies you'll encounter will have little or no shield. Especially if you're running into, like, the worms that the other guy was talking about. The ones that we're sort of hunting. They don't have shields because they're just worms. So they go down pretty easily. Sometimes even a single hit. These guys, because they had shields, and then I guess their HP was lower than mine, but it was still close. Like, it was like, what, 17 or 18 versus our, like, 20 something. So yeah, these guys are actually tougher than a lot of what I've faced to this point. But down they went anyways, and we actually avoided any HP damage, which is great. Because that does, that does add up, especially if you're only just getting started on your delve into the Derelict. So this is our loot. We got a broken energy cell. We got a small energy cell. Some razors for a power glove, which Columbus has, so we'll give those to her. It's going to add 14% puncture, which is great. Puncture, I believe, is what allows you to sneak damage past shields, so that's actually really nice to have. We'll take it all. And let's go into our inventory and equip that. So let's get Columbus, and we'll grab this mod and throw that into her power glove, and then that'll add 2 more cards. A ripping strike and a quick strike to her deck. And then let's go back to the scanner, and it looks like that dead ends, so let's come this way. And we'll grab this loot, and then I'll pop a scan here and just make sure that this is the edge. So let's search this. Let's see, a battering force amplifier. It's a level 3 spread range weapon mod, so that's only going to work for shotguns, which is fine by me because I have a shotgun. And plenty of mod slots to use it on, so we'll throw that in there. That's going to give him 2 new cards, a weapon overloader that does, let's see, 20% damage, weaponry disruption for 2 turns. So I guess the enemy can't use their weapon for a couple turns. It also apparently has the chance to lower initiative when I land attacks with this thing, which is pretty cool. And then let's reorganize this junk. There we go. So these ones, you just sell them. They're basically just vendor fodder. You can't actually do anything with them. So let's go ahead and scan here, and yeah, that appears to be the end of the line over there. Let's push down this way. And one thing I haven't been doing that you should probably keep doing is, again, this being the exit, every once in a while just check and make sure you have enough energy. So like, this is going to take me 12 to get back. I've got 33, so I can push on a little bit further if I want. I do have those energy cells as well. So let's move into here, and I'll pop another scan. And it looks like we've got an encounter as well as some loot. I'm going to grab the loot. I'm going to avoid the encounter, because if it's a fight, I don't have enough energy to complete it and then get back. So let's just grab this. Apparently there's a body over here that we can search, and he's got a destroyed weapon that will sell for a little bit but is otherwise useless. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what, I will take the encounter here because I do have the energy cells. Typically you want to keep these as reserves and not play stupid like this, but because this is sort of like a one-off video just showing the game off, I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. So we'll jump in here and this might turn into a fight. Another scavenger, looking for a treasure perhaps? No need for that, this place has nothing valuable to offer. Besides, I've got more important things to do than talk with you. Go ahead and leave. Oh, okay, so maybe not. Fine, we'll leave then. How much is that going to take me? 14? Then let's, I wonder if that connects back around. If it doesn't, I could be in real trouble. Let's move here. I'll pop a scan and then I should be able to make it home. Apparently that dead ends, okay. So you have just enough to make it back. You can run into encounters on your way back though. So keep that in mind as well. You don't want to cut it as close as I'm cutting it here. But obviously in this case it worked out. So we get back to here, we close our PDA, and we can return to station. We will go ahead and jump into the pawn shop. We'll sell all this scrap that we picked up. It's not going to sell for much, unfortunately. Generally, you'll do a little bit better than that. I got a pretty good, or a pretty difficult fight there, and not a whole lot of loot for it. Generally, you'll, again, come home with a little bit more than I did in that case. And then if these guys were damaged, we could heal them up here. Oh, I forgot to do this. So in the pawn shop, you can also fill your energy reserves. It is 1 credit or CC or whatever it is per energy. So 99 to get my energy back to 100 there. And then you can jump back in your ship and head on back to, you know, whatever you're clearing and start all over again. Obviously, if you don't want to have to keep going back and forth, you can buy a bunch of energy cells. But eventually you're going to need to return back here to, you know, collect on your money and stuff. So you can at any point return here and go back to the derelict. You don't lose your progress or anything. I usually end up going back and forth several times before I clear derelict. But yeah, so this has been Deep Sky Derelicts. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Again, I do really enjoy the game. I find it a little bit addicting. I just wish there was a little bit more content available. Maybe the ability to bring or to hire more crew and then pick and choose which 3 to bring along. That would be kind of cool. Even if it's just like one of each class, and then, you know, I can decide on this run I want to bring a technician rather than a medic, or a tracker versus a bruiser, just to kind of mix and match stuff. Because, you know, there are certain cases where one class is going to be a little bit deficient compared to another. And so it would be nice to have more options, and then you could do a little bit more party management as well. In this case, you're basically, you know, just using these 3. And so anything you get that doesn't fit these 3 characters is just immediately trade fodder. Where, you know, it'd be nice to have a little bit more management to do. Because at the moment, other than just clearing the derelicts, there isn't a whole lot of their gameplay available. And so that's why I think that $15 price point is a little bit high. I think if you could get the game for 10, that would be a very good deal, and I would recommend it there. At 15, unless you're really, really into this type of game, I would say maybe hold off. But I'm definitely enjoying it. Of course, I didn't have to pay for it. I'm playing on a review code, so I have that advantage where you guys don't. So I don't know. I do enjoy the game. It's a little bit difficult for me to recommend at $15, but I do recommend it. And yeah, I'd like to see them continue to build on it, but otherwise, I think it's a fun little game. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed playing some Deep Sky Derelicts with you. Hopefully you enjoyed coming along for the journey, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for my next First Look video.